From the Detroit Free Press, I'm Robin Chan with today's Voice Briefing. It's Friday, August 28th, 2026.
I'm Dave Boucher with the Detroit Free Press. A lawsuit accusing a Detroit judge of gross misconduct when he had a teen girl who fell asleep in his court detained, subjected to a mock trial, and threatened with jail may proceed, according to a recent ruling from a federal appeals court. A panel of 3 judges from the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 6th Circuit in Cincinnati denied 36th District Court Judge Kenneth King's request to dismiss the civil lawsuit filed by the girl and her mother. The ruling isn't a final decision in the case, but rather allows the original lawsuit to move forward. King argued he has judicial immunity for his acts and can't be sued. Judicial immunity is a broad safeguard for judges, preventing most forms of legal pushback against actions taken in an official capacity. But the August 21st ruling noted there are some limits to this power. Quote, "Not all actions taken by a judge in his courtroom are protected by judicial immunity," reads the opinion written by U.S. Circuit Court Judge Ronald Lee Gilman. Quote, "All reasonable jurists would presumably agree, for example, that a judge cannot shield himself from suit if he draws a firearm and shoots an observer who has dozed off in his courtroom. A line must therefore be drawn between the actions that a judge can take in his courtroom under the cloak of judicial immunity and those he cannot." James Harrington, a lawyer with Feiger Law representing the girl and her mother, said he was not surprised by the ruling. The case can now proceed to discovery, the process of collecting additional evidence, up to and including Harrington requiring King to sit for a deposition. Asked if this decision could spur settlement talks, Harrington said King's lawyer has his phone number, but he's preparing for a trial that he thinks could happen in early 2027. In theory, King could appeal the appellate court decision to the U.S. Supreme Court. Todd Perkins, a Detroit lawyer representing King, did not immediately respond to a request for comment. In August 2024, the girl joined other kids participating in a summer program on a field trip to the 36th District Court. At some point, she nodded off. Her mother later told the Free Press her daughter was tired because at the time, they were without a permanent place to live. The girl was initially reprimanded, but when she dozed off again, King had a bailiff remove her from the room. She was ultimately handcuffed, forced into jail garb, and required to remain in a room typically reserved for people accused of committing a crime. Afterward, King held a faux hearing. He admonished her repeatedly before asking the other teens in her program to raise their hands if they thought she should go to jail. She was ultimately released. King was temporarily removed from the bench at the time, eventually returning to a role with a lower profile. In November 2025, the state's Judicial Tenure Commission, the only oversight authority for Michigan judges, took the rare step to publicly confirm an investigation into King's actions involving the girl. They accused King of violating multiple judicial canons and rules. King is fighting the case, which could result in additional punishment up to and including ouster from his role by the Michigan Supreme Court. That case is pending, with a public hearing set for September. For more information, visit freep.com.
I'm Sue Solaski, Detroit Free Press food and restaurant writer. Fans of Michigan football will have big and tasty new food options while they cheer on the Wolverines this season at the Big House and other University of Michigan sports venues in Ann Arbor. Levy, the new food and beverage partner at Michigan Stadium, as well as Chrysler Center, Yost Ice Arena, and other Michigan sports venues, unveiled more than a dozen new chef-created menu options across concessions, club, and suite-level seating. A big change-up is that Hungry Howie's Pizza replaces Buddy's Pizza as the pizza provider this season at the stadium. Fraser's Fairway Packing Company, a longtime Eastern Market meat purveyor, known also for serving restaurants, chefs, and hospitality partners, is also new this year. Fairway's custom blend burgers will be served throughout stadium concessions and club-level seating, as well as at Chrysler Center and Yost Ice Arena. New food options include plenty of beef, from burgers to brisket to slice-to-order roast beef sandwiches with cheddar and horseradish aioli, loaded big baked potatoes, and shareable nachos in a replica Michigan Stadium container. Another highlight is the jalapeno popper dog, featuring a Dearborn all-beef hot dog with cheddar, whipped cream cheese, bacon, and charred jalapeno relish. Other items are empanadas and beef, chicken, and an apple cinnamon with cinnamon, sugar, and salted caramel drizzle. In the club-level seating, the Woodson Barbecue Bacon Burger is a hit. It has Fairway Packing Angus beef smash patties topped with Woodson bourbon glazed thick bacon and other toppings.
Find more from the Detroit Free Press on freep.com. That's freep.com. Thank you for listening. Have a great weekend, and you'll hear more from us Monday.